Assalamu alaikum and good morning. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wa hlul 'uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. This is going to be the fifth video of this lesson, Lost Spring. I'm going to read from page number 17. If you have any query, question, feel free to ask me on my WhatsApp number 7383759748. Let's begin to read. I would request all the students to have the textbook in your hand, page number 17. And inshallah it is going to be the last video of this lesson, so it will take one more video. Let's begin to read. We enter a half-built shack. Shack means hut. We enter half-built shack. In one part of it, thatched with dead grass. That hut that was covered with a dead grass, thatched means covered with dry grass, is a firewood stove over which sits large vessels of sizzling spinach leaves. And when we enter inside the house, we saw that large vessel was there over the oven, over the stove. On the ground is a large aluminum platters. Platters means thali, right? Vessel means container for cooking food. On the ground, large aluminum platters are more chopped vegetables, and chopped vegetables are there inside. A frail young woman is cooking the evening meal for the whole family. Frail means very weak young woman. She was there cooking food for the entire family. Through eyes filled with smoke, she smiled. When she smiled, her eyes filled with smoke. She is the wife of Mukesh's elder brother. Not much older in years, she has begun to command respect as Bahu, the daughter-in-law of the house, already in charge of 3 men, her husband Mukesh and their father. So she is there looking after 3 people. Right, she has got respect as a bahu. She has got her designation as bahu inside the house, and she is the wife of Mukesh's elder brother. Now let me explain in nutshell so you can understand well. Platters means large plates, chopped, cut finely, frail, thin, weak. Eyes filled with smoke means her eyes are filled with smoke coming out of the firewood stove. Common respect, she is worthy and so is respected. Let's begin. Let me make you understand. The house where Mukesh lived was partially constructed hut. In one corner was the firewood stove made with dead grass. A vessel with spinach leaves was kept on it. On the ground there were more plates with chopped vegetables in them. There was a thin young woman cooking the evening meal for the family. Her eyes were full of smoke emanating from the stove, but she was still cheerful and smiled to see the writer. She was the wife of Mukesh's elder brother. Although she was not much older than Mukesh, she was a responsible person and was worthy to get respect from the family as the daughter-in-law of the family. She took care of the 3 men, her husband, Mukesh and their father. Let's read further. This was an explanation. When the older man entered, she gently withdrew behind the broken wall and brings her veil closer to her face. When the elder people enter the house, she used to have mask on her face, right? As custom demanded, it is the custom of these people. As the custom, daughter-in-law must veil their faces before the male elders. Yeah, this custom is still prevailing in Rajasthan and especially in Kutch in Gujarat. In this case, the elder is an impoverished bangle maker. Elder is an impoverished means they are extremely poor people. Impoverished bangle maker. They are the bangle makers. Despite long years of hard labor, first as a tailor, then bangle maker, he has failed to renovate a house, send his 2 sons to school. This is how he has spent his entire life. All he has managed to do is to teach them what he knows, the art of making bengal. He was able to teach his two children the art of making bangles. विड्रो गोज बैक वेल, आपको पता है वेल पर्दा, इम्पोरिश वेरी पुअर, लेबर हार्डवर्क, रिनॉट रिपेड. As Mukesh's father entered the house, the daughter-in-law hid behind the wall and covered her face behind her veil. It was the tradition for the daughter-in-law to hide their face in the presence of the older male members of the family. The elder here was a poor bangle maker. He had worked hard all his life, first as a tailor, then as a bangle maker. He was still not able to either renovate the house or send his son to school. He had just managed to teach him the skill of making bangles. Let's read. It is his karma, his destiny, says Mukesh's grandmother, who has watched her own husband go blind with the dust from polishing the glass of bangles. See how they spent their entire lives in abject poverty. Mukesh's grandmother had seen her own husband getting blind. Can a God-given lineage ever be broken? She implies. See the superstitions they had it. They cannot leave their profession. They cannot leave their work which has been running from their ancestors. God-given lineage means here a profession carried on through the generation of a family. Glass bangle making. Mukesh's grandmother justified her son by saying that he was destined to make a bangles as it had been their family profession. She had seen her husband become blind due to the dust from polishing the glass bangles. She says that the family had got this art of bangle making from God, and so they had to carry on this tradition. This is the explanation. Born in the caste of bangle makers, they have seen nothing but bangles in the house, in the yard, in every other house, every other yard, every street in Firozabad. Spirals of bangles, sunny gold, paddy green, royal blue, pink, purple, every color born out of the seven colors of the rainbow. Line the mounds of unkept yards are piled off on four-wheel handcarts, pushed by young men along the narrow lanes of shanty town. Shanty means hut. Yard means the open area at the back of the house. Mounds mean heaps. Unkept means not taken care. Piled means kept on the top of others. Shanty town that is full of small, roughly built huts. So this is the description of the town, how it is there. They were born in a particular caste which had to follow the profession of bangle making. All their life they had just seen these glass bangles. They were everywhere, in the backyard, in the next house, in the yard, and even the street of the town. There were huge spiral bunches of bangle in different colors like gold, green, blue, pink, purple. There were bangles of all the color of the rainbow. Further, the writer says that there were bangles in the neglected yards also. They were dumped on the handcarts for sale. They were pushed by men along the street of Firozabad. This is the explanation. And in the dark hutments next to lines of flames of flickering oil lamps, sit boys and girls with their father and mothers, welding pieces of colored glass into the circle of bangles. How they were sitting inside in the dark area. Their eyes are more adjusted to the dark than to the light outside. That is why they often end up losing their eyesight before they become adult. And that is the reality, that they become blind. They become blind before they enter the age of adult. The writer described the environment where these bangles makers worked. They were small, dark huts. The children would sit next to a line of oil lamps whose flames were unsteady. They, along with their parents, joined the pieces of colored glass into the circle called bangles. As they spent lots of time in the dark, their eyes would not adapt to the bright sunlight. Many of them lost their eyesight before gaining adulthood. Savita, young girl in a drab pink dress. There is one girl whose name is Savita. She is there in drab pink dress. Drab means dull. sits alongside an elderly woman. See, they're sitting with an elderly woman, soldering pieces of glass, and she was soldering pieces of glass. As her hands move mechanically like the tongs of mechanic, her hands were moving like a machine, mechanically like the tongs of machine. I wonder if she knows the sanctity of the bangles she helps make. So the writer has questioned, was she knowing the sanctity, the holiness of making bangles? It symbolizes an Indian woman's shuhag. Suhag means husband. If ladies is wearing these bangles, it means she's a married. It symbolizes an Indian woman's suhag, auspiciousness in marriage. Now let me explain you in nutshell. Drab means faded, colorless, soldering, joining, tongs and instrument with two movable arms join, and sanctity, the state of being sacred or holy, auspiciousness, good omen. There was a young girl by the name Savita. She wore faded pink colored dress. She was sitting with an elderly woman, and they were joining pieces of glass to make bangles. Her hands moved like a machine, just like the tongs of a machine. The writer wondered if Savita knew their bangles were sacred. They were good omen for a woman's wifehood. Let's read further. It will dawn her suddenly one day when her head is draped with a red veil. It will dawn her means she will realize one day when her head is draped with a red veil that this lady will come to she will come to know the importance of these bangles when she will have red veil, when she will cover her face with a red hijab. Her hands dye red. Her hands dye red with henna. Henna means mehndi. When her hands will cover with the mehndi, she will realize the importance of bangles, and red bangles roll onto her wrist. She will then become bride. That will be the time that she will become dulhan. Like the old woman beside her who became one many years ago. Yeah, she also become many years. She still has bangles on her wrist, but no light in her eyes. Drab cover. She thought that Savita would realize when she would become a bride. That day, she would cover her head with a red color veil, color her hands with henna, and wear red color bangles on her wrist. The elder woman sitting next to Savita also became bride many years ago. She was still wearing the glass bangles, but had lost her eyesight now. एक वक्त देर भर खाना भी नहीं खाया. That how they were living their lives in such abject poverty. She was saying that she said that she had not even that much food that fill her stomach. She says in a voice drained of joy, and she was saying dried up joy, right? She was not happy while saying all this. She had not enjoyed even full meal in her entire life. How we should be very thankful to Almighty God that we at least get food on time. This how the people of Firozabad were living in abject poverty. She hadn't eaten with full belly in her entire life. That's what she has reaped, what she has received. Her husband, an old man with flowing beard. Her husband, he had a long beard, flowing beard, says, "I know nothing except bangles." And he was saying that he doesn't know anything but just only making bangles. All I have done is make house for the family to live in. That was his achievement. That was his achievement of the entire life, that he had at least made the house for the entire family. That is also hut. Hearing him, one wonder if he has achieved what many have failed in their lifetime. He has roof over his head, and there are people who fail to achieve even this much. At least this person has a roof over his head. The cry of not having money to do anything except carry on the business of making bangles, not even enough to eat, rings in every home. There is a shortage of money, there is shortage of food, and this abject poverty, and the problem due to this poverty rings in every home. The young men echo the lament of their elders, and they are complaining. Younger people are complaining to their elders. Little has moved with time, it seems, in Firozabad. Nothing has improved. The same circumstances, same situation, same kind of abject poverty is there prevailing in Firozabad. Years of mind-numbing toil have killed all initiative and ability to dream. They are there, they get stuck in such vicious cycles of making bangles for generation to generation, and they are not able to come out of it. And as yet they cannot dream, they cannot have the dreams, and it kills the ability of dreaming. Why not organize? Anyway, inshallah I will explain the rest of the lesson in the very next video. If you have any query question, feel free to ask me on my WhatsApp number 7383759748. Allah Hafiz.